Video is strictly going to be about just showing you a little bit of how to understand the Metro 2 compliance, right? So if you have like a credit card, because that's what we're talking about today, credit card accounts, not retail card accounts. Like if you have like a Kohl's card or a JCPenney's card, that is considered to be a retail card or a store card. So we're not talking about that today because there's different fields, but we are talking about credit cards. Like if you have a Capital One card or a Citibank card, credit card. So if you have a credit card account that has been charged off and you want to dispute it using the Metro 2 compliance strategy, and you kind of just want to understand Metro 2 to kind of get familiar with the different fields and segments and codes. If that's confusing you, then this is going to be your video that you're going to want to just blow through with me real quickly to give you a better understanding about what it is so that you know better how to dispute using it. Okay, so the first thing that I want to show you here is the field chart. So this is for credit cards, and it's literally on your Metro 2 guide, which is free to download on my website. And so I just want to go over it a little bit with you just to kind of give you an idea about the codes, because I mean, people contact me all the time and they're like, it's just so confusing. But so I'm kind of just going to break it down to you guys a little bit. So you're going to want to pull up your Metro 2 guide and kind of go along with me. And I promise you, like, a light bulb is going to come on. You're going to be like, okay, that's easy enough. So just don't let the different fields fool you. Like, just if you take your time to actually focus on it, easy peasy. Okay, so here we have our credit cards field sheet, and over here, which is also in the Metro 2 guide, is your record layouts. So the way to find out what fields are required to be reported on your credit report and what fields aren't necessarily required is just to go by your records layout. So here where we have portfolio type, on your credit card account that will be charged off on your credit report, you're going to see that the segment field is base 8. So this is base segment field 8. That's your code for the Metro 2 compliance. So, and as far as portfolio type, it is a revolving account. Right here where it says account type, revolving account, revolving account, revolving account across the board. So over here, if you go back over here to where it says account type, which it lets us also know that this is segment field or base segment field 9, account type detail, it's a credit card. Right here, don't let the numbers fool you. These are just different codes for credit card. Okay, and more than likely, you're not going to see these particular numbers on your credit report. You're going to see it literally say credit card. Okay, and just heads up, like if you go across the board here and you see that one credit bureau does not have that reporting, then that means that that is a missing field. So this company, Equifax, is breaking the Metro 2 compliance rules because they have a required field missing the input. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the record layouts. So this is going to be what tells you what's required and what's not required. So you see here where we have base field 8. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're just going to go over to record layouts and you're going to find you're going to go over to, and you're going to find the number 8, which is the field. So it's going to tell you the field. And you're going to find the number 8, portfolio type, and required here. Yes, it is required. So that lets you know that it is required. Now, when it is required, if it is not actually reporting on the credit report, that they are breaking the thing. So you would want to, when you reach out to dispute, you're going to want to have your codes and everything in place on your credit report, and you're going to want to say that this is missing but required. So if you're familiar with our DIY templates that we provide, it'll clearly say in our dispute reason key, missing but required in red. So that's letting Oscar know that this is a compliance field that is missing, but it is required. So, and there you have it, whole dispute reason. So here where it says credit limit, you're going to always want to see the credit limit on the credit card account. That is a required field. To find out, you just say, hey, this is base 11. So you want to go here. Okay. So right here where it says credit limit, we see that this is segment field base 11. So you're going to want to go over to record layouts to find field 11 credit limit, and where you see the A at, that means that this field is required only when applicable. Now, who decides when what is applicable? No one knows. So what I chalk this up to is that it's not necessarily required, because who decides what's applicable or not? But however, if the credit limit is missing off of the actual credit report that I'm disputing, because it doesn't specifically say that it is not required, it says required when applicable, then I'm going to dispute it, and I'm not going to say missing but required, but I'm going to say questionable or potential error. I'll put that on the actual dispute, okay? And so moving on, highest credit amount, base segment field 12. So you're going to go here again, and you'll see where base field 12 is, highest credit or original loan amount. Yes, this is required. So that's why you see that all the time, which that sucks. I hate that, because if you ever go like a little bit over your limit, like that's always going to be sitting there on your credit report, and every creditor who looks at your credit report looks at that account is going to see that, hey, this person went over their credit limit at one point, or this person was almost at their credit limit at one point. Hate that. So like if I were using Metro 2, I'd dispute that regardless of what, just to see if I can get that removed, because you don't want to, if you've gone close to your balance or over your balance or credit limit, you don't want that to show, so disputed. I mean, you can use Metro 2 to dispute like anything. It doesn't even necessarily have to be anything that's derogatory on your credit report. Like if you have like a low tier account on your credit report that you don't want showing, any longer, because you've graduated from using the low tier credit cards or revolving accounts or charge accounts or whatever, and you just don't want it on your report anymore, and you can just use the Metro 2 to dispute that as well. I mean, I have lots of clients who don't necessarily have bad credit. They just want the low tiers gone. And so Metro 2 is definitely a good way to dispute those types of things, to get those things removed off your credit report as well. So, and I'm not going to go through this whole thing here. I'm sure that I've given you, enough with the first 4 that I've done to kind of point you in the right direction of how to verify what fields and how to see what's required and what is not necessarily required. So I just wanted to go over to an actual credit report that is reporting a charged off credit card that is derogatory, and just kind of give you some tips on disputes and dispute reasons for it if you are going to dispute this. So of course, first and foremost, you're always going to see the header here, which will say capital 1, because that's the account, and you're going to almost always see the account number at the very top right there. Now there's no Metro 2 compliance for this, but however, when it comes to factual disputing, you want to make sure that the account number is correct. Okay, so you can still dispute it, it's just not a Metro 2 compliance thing with the account number. Don't ask me why. Doesn't even make any sense. But anyway, so here where it says portfolio type, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just compare and kind of toggle back and forth to find discrepancies to use to dispute with my Metro 2. So we know that portfolio type and account type 8 and 9, fields 8 and 9 are required. So over here, account type, it says revolving. Okay, everything is correct with that. Account type here where it says credit card. Equifax is dropping the ball here. So right here, I would dispute segment field base 9, which is the code, and I would put here missing but required because we've already figured out through our records layout form that this is required. So we want to make them honor that, okay? Which could cause it to be deleted. Okay, so so here account status is base character 17. That is required. So where it says account status here on this credit report, it says closed, TransUnion's reporting. Experian is saying that it is derogatory, and Equifax is saying that it is derogatory. So with that being said, this gets my attention. So I want to go and look at TransUnion and see what they're reporting. All they're saying is that the account, 0 monthly payment, it's a closed account, highest credit balance, payment status unknown, canceled by credit grantor. To me, TransUnion isn't reporting anything negative, okay? So if I don't want to rock the boat, I don't dispute with TransUnion on this account at all, unless this was a specific account that my client just wanted me to see if I could just get it removed in its entirety off the credit report because it was a low tier or something of that nature. But as a disputer, this isn't hurting that TransUnion credit report at all. So I'm not touching it. I'm not going to rock the boat because this actually is a true account. This was my client's account. If I dispute this right here, knowing that it is a charged off account that has possibly been sold to a collection agency or they possibly hired a collection agency, and I dispute it using the Metro 2, it could wake this all back up again, and they could really like report everything again, and it be showing up as like a charge off or a collection or something. So if I say, choose your battles when you're doing your disputes. Make sure you read over all 3 of your credit reports, which is why I love to use Identity IQ or Smart Credit because everything is right there, right beside each other. So with TransUnion, as a disputer, I'm not touching TransUnion at all for this because to me, they're not even reporting that this is included in the bankruptcy. And if you look over here, Equifax is. And it's clearly included in my client's bankruptcy. I'm not touching it. So, and that was like a little sidebar. So like moving forward here, what are we doing? Okay, so credit limit. Right here where it says credit limit, we know that that is segment field base 11. So we look at our records layout here. Credit limit is only required when applicable. We just spoke about that. So where's credit limit here? Right here, they are reporting a credit limit, and for now I'm not even going to acknowledge TransUnion here because I've already said that I'm not even disputing TransUnion for this client. So I'm just going to focus on Experian and Equifax. So Experian is reporting that the credit limit was 600. However, Equifax is reporting 0. It says that this is only required when applicable. So who decides what's applicable? I think anyone can decide what's applicable. So right here where there's reporting that there is a 0 credit limit, I'm going to say that this is mathematically impossible because it's mathematically impossible for me to have a charge off or a collection with a credit card that didn't even have a limit. So that's a dispute reason. Okay, Metro 2. Okay, so here where it says highest credit limit. Okay, so we know that highest credit limit, we already found out earlier that highest credit limit is required. So of course, and highest credit limit is usually almost always there. So when they don't have the highest credit card limit there or highest credit card usage there, that is missing but required. Missing but required across the board with Experian and Equifax. So we have plenty of Metro 2 compliance discrepancies here to dispute with already with these 2 companies. And so moving along where it says here terms of duration, which is base segment field 13. I'm going to look over to my records layout and see that find number 13. Terms of duration, yes, it is required, and they drop the ball on this all the time. So right here where it says number of monthly terms, it's gonna most likely almost always say 0 across the board, and it is required. So that's missing but required, potential error. Okay, but if something is missing, I always actually put that it is missing but it is required there, and I'll put it like in bright red on the actual dispute letter. So attention, okay. So we have plenty of Metro 2 violations here, guys, and this is going to be on just about every credit report you see. And the thing that I love the most about disputing using the Metro 2 compliance is that you can combine Metro 2 compliance disputing strategy along with factual disputing. So you just do both together, and it's awesome. I'm not going to go through this entire little credit account here. I feel like I given you enough. So if you're disputing a credit card, and this is not just for credit cards, I just wanted to particularly show you the credit card account, but this is with any credit unions or banks or mortgage, student loans, like even Metro 2 has a standard for child support. I mean, I'm going to be making more videos on this. I'm not going to do like a whole Metro 2 video packet thing here, and I'm gonna try to put out like a video every couple of days on this, just to go ahead and get this stuff out. I'm really like trying for time here to actually make the videos and put them out, but I'm gonna do more. So like if you have any questions about this, just leave a question in the comment or text me. My number is like always in the description. So until the next video, which should be in a couple of days,